Okay, so this is a story about your body and about a secret it's been keeping from you this whole time.
I mean, not now, probably not today, but look, you've got a finite amount of time, right? And a body to spend it in. And that body, well, it's been quietly doing something this entire time, without your permission.
Yeah, and the crazy part? It's been happening literally right under your nose. You've been tasting the world, molecule by molecule.
All right, so really, what is smell? I can pretty much guarantee it's not what you think it is. It's this way more intimate, way more physical process than you were ever taught in school.
Okay, so here's how it works. When something has a scent, right, like your morning coffee or a bakery or a rose, what that actually means is that the object is literally shedding tiny physical parts of itself into the air, volatile compounds. And these little molecules, they just drift around. You breathe in, and those actual material pieces of the thing, they travel up into your nose and lock onto your receptors. Then your brain takes that info and builds the idea of smell. But here's the kicker, the crucial point. You've taken a piece of that object with you. It is now physically a part of you.
Yeah, you literally ate it with your face.
So you'd think, for a sense that's so fundamental, so physical, it would be a huge deal, right? Well, it's been surprisingly, almost shockingly, overlooked by some of history's greatest thinkers.
Take Immanuel Kant, for example. I mean, one of the greatest philosophers in history. He basically dismissed smell as the most ungrateful and dispensable of all the senses. Wow.
And the irony here? Oh, it is staggering. This is a guy who spent his entire life mapping the human mind, but he never even noticed that what he called taste was almost entirely his sense of smell doing the heavy lifting. I mean, think about it. Your tongue can only detect 5 things: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. That's it. That's the whole menu. Everything else, vanilla, cardamom, mango, literally all of what we call flavor, that's your nose processing molecules from the back of your throat. It's a process called retronasal olfaction. So Kant, this great mapper of the human mind, never realized his own sense of taste was basically a fraud.
And this blind spot, this historical dismissal of smell, it had truly deadly consequences. In 1347, the Black Death rolls into Europe, and it wipes out an estimated 25 million people, nearly half the continent.
So, the greatest medical minds of the 14th century, they're faced with just a mountain of bodies. And their diagnosis? What was the cause? They blamed the stench of death itself. Miasma, they called it. Bad air. A corrupted vapor they thought was rising from the sick and the dying. So their solution was perfume. Carry flowers. Burn incense. Doctors would literally hold bouquets to their faces while walking through the plague wards. Now, the science was catastrophically wrong, of course. But here's the thing. Their instinct was absolutely right. The air in those rooms was full of molecules from the dying. The smell of the disease was, literally, tiny physical fragments of the sick. So while their science was fatally flawed, their gut feeling was spot on. The air was a carrier of death, just not in the way they imagined.
Okay, so history's relationship with smell doesn't end there. In fact, it gets even more specific and, a little bit strange. So let me introduce you to Robert Mouchemblet. He's a French historian who dedicated years of his life to meticulously cataloging the history of odors in early modern Europe. A whole book about what Europe smelled like between the 1500s and 1800s. Just think about that, a monumental work on historical stench. But for all that incredibly detailed research, he missed the most fundamental question of all. Does the act of smelling actually change the object that's being smelled? And the answer, of course, is yes.
Anyway, so what does any of this mean for you right here, right now?
Let's bring this all the way back to you and this invisible world that you've been, well, consuming your entire life. You know that incredible smell of an old book in a library? It has an actual name. It's called bibliosmia, and it's caused by the slow chemical breakdown of the paper itself, the cellulose and the lignin just decomposing over decades, releasing these molecules into the air and into you. So when you smell an old book, you're not just smelling paper, you are literally consuming its history, molecule by molecule, page by page. And it's not just books. Think about it. You've inhaled fragments of Homer and Tolstoy from that old book, sure, but also every room you have ever loved, every single person you've ever stood close to, every city, every meal, every morning. You've been collecting this library of the world inside you your entire life. And all those fragments, they're a part of you.
There's a philosopher of olfaction, Anne Sophie Barowitch, who puts it perfectly. She says smell is almost like touching the invisible world, and that's exactly it. Your nose is this silent witness, right? Constantly reaching out and physically touching the world, collecting memories you didn't even know you were making.
But there's one last thought here, one final, kind of beautiful twist to this whole story. See, the thing is, the object was going to lose those molecules anyway. The coffee was going to cool, the flour was going to wilt. Your nose didn't cause it to happen. Evaporation, decay, that just happens, whether you're there or not. You were just downstream, in the right place, at the right time to intercept these tiny pieces of the world as they were already leaving. To smell something is to catch it on its way out. It was already gone, really. You were just there to witness its departure.
So, you have been carrying these little fragments of your life inside of you this whole time. Physical pieces of every place you've ever loved, every person you've ever been close to, every single room where something important happened. They all sent a tiny piece of themselves into you, and you kept it. You held on to it for a little while. And that's something pretty remarkable, isn't it?
Anyway, so yeah, Kant was wrong. Those medieval doctors with their flowers, they were definitely onto something.
You were there. For all of it. Unknowingly maybe, but undeniably. You've been a part of it all since birth. Might as well keep going.